What's up, guys? Charlie here, Food Fight Club. Thanks for joining me again. Just coming to you today without a script or an idea. Just wanted to talk a little bit about stuff that's been coming up for me. Kind of an emotional day, reliving some stuff and, going through it. That's all. Gotta have a bad day once in a while, right? Just worked out a little bit and thought it would help. It kind of did. So, I guess that's why I press play or record. It was a while ago, over a couple of weeks, an old memory popped up. I told you before that my mom was kind of bulimic, and I remember one day when I was really young, probably like 7 or 8 years old, and I don't know how we got on the subject, but we were asking my mom, me and my brother, I don't remember where my sister was, and we were saying, you make yourself throw up? How do you make yourself throw up? She was saying, you just stick your finger down your throat, and you make yourself gag, and then you throw up. We were like, wow. She's like, yeah, go try it. You can go try it. You go in the bathroom. We were like, really? Okay. So me and my brother went in the bathroom and we're sticking our fingers down our throat, and I didn't want to throw up. I mean, we gagged, but we tried it, and it's like wild how she kind of like had no idea or no shame, teaching us how to throw up. Kind of blows my mind. I don't know about you guys. If you've had similar experiences, I don't know. I've never met somebody who did, but kind of stuck with me, I guess, So, I just never was ever really tempted to do that. I've heard some podcasts with former bulimics on there, and they said, like, once you do that, it just kind of becomes like an easy button, no matter how dysfunctional it is, and how bad it is. It just becomes something you do, and it took a while for them to recover from that. And as I mentioned before, my intuitive eating coach was a former bulimic, and she was full on. She was exercising in the gym for 2-3 hours every day, and it's crazy. But I don't know. What else can we talk about? Memories, huh? I have another memory that sticks with me kind of all the time. Doesn't really have too much to do with the eating disorder thing, but it has something to do with like family and how my family was, I guess, how my parents were, and has to do with like when I was like 7 also, like just made communion, first Holy Communion, and told you guys about my cousin. He's like my age. We went to elementary and high school together, and like twins, still talk a lot all the time. And so the family had a party up the block at my grandfather's house, and my cousins, my aunt and uncle, lived upstairs at the time, and they had a decent sized backyard, and so they had a party there for my cousin and I, at least I think. And we were all running around with our cousins, and I don't remember if there was school friends there or not, but there was a bunch of kids, so there might have been. And like right at the edge of the patio, there was like a couple of steps to get down onto the lawn, and they had a magician come in, and I had no idea. I don't even know if my parents knew, but my uncle might have hired him. I don't know. Um, Magician comes in, the show's gonna start, all the kids gather around in front of that step, and he's up on top of the step on the patio, and he goes, "Whose party is this? You know, who's the guest of honor or whatever?" So my cousin raises his hand, and I raise my hand, and he picks my cousin to come up there, I guess, to do a trick or whatever, and I guess that triggered some kind of feeling in me of, maybe being gypped out of having my own party, and I kind of felt like a deception that maybe it really wasn't my party, we were just there, and I got angry and started crying and whatnot, and I went in the house and went into my grandfather's den, and I just pretty much stayed there the rest of the night. And my mother would come in, "Oh, come outside," and then my father would come in and try and convince me to come out, and I didn't want to, and aunts and uncles would file in and out, and I just wasn't having it. I guess that brought up feelings of whatever. I don't know. I guess I felt like they didn't do anything for me specifically. They just did from my cousin, or, why did it have to be at my cousin's house? I don't know. I was a kid too, so I had, I guess, preconceived notions about how things should be. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. It's funny, but I never forgot that. I think there is a grain of truth in there. Like, I don't think my father really, was interested in having a second party or a different party. I think he took the easy way out, and just combined everything and didn't take into consideration how I would feel. But it's water under the bridge now, I guess, huh? So, life is funny, right? I talked to my cousins in Florida, and I don't want to put too much personal stuff out there, but over the last year, they've been through the ringer, life. So it kind of has there's a lot of tie-ins. You guys don't know most of the backstory yet, but I haven't spoke to my father and my brother in 3 years and 2 months, plus 10 days. So, because my brother kind of took over as the family narcissist, and there was an incident, too long to go into now, but it was like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Getting treated like shit by your family, No one fucks you like family. That's a saying my cousins and I have. So we talk about how my father doesn't really call them, they talk to him once in a blue moon because I guess they have respect. They give him a call, but it's just like he lives his own life and doesn't give a shit about nobody. He doesn't even call like his living relatives, his cousins, and yeah, everybody thinks he's like a fantastic guy, such a nice guy. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. He's just very detached. And to not speak to your oldest son over something that you had a part in. And like, in my family, there was never any apologies from my parents. Well, I'll tell you that straight up. Whenever there was some kind of a disagreement or an argument, they would never, ever apologize or ask to talk about it, to try and understand other people's feelings. They would just rather it cool down and sweep it under the rug and move on. So there was so many unfinished, whatever, so much unfinished business. It just never really got resolved. So there was like resentment on resentment on resentment, and that started to pile up between me and my brother also. But he became the family narcissist after my mom passed, and he already was headed in that direction. Make no mistakes. Started over 30 years ago, So, but now they're still trying to make me out to be the bad guy, and that's okay. I know how it is. I've been learning about narcissism for almost as long as intuitive eating. So, that doesn't really surprise me, and I'm clear of it now. It doesn't really affect me either way. It's just frustrating sometimes, but I'm human. We're all human. What else? How's my eating been? My eating's been good, I'm not perfect. None of us are. Try and make sure that I eat enough during the day so I don't get the crazy lone wolf eating at night. And I've been doing all right with that. I don't know. For me, the missing piece, or whatever you want to call it, is developing a steady exercise routine. I look at all these different things, and I have kettlebells right here, and that's what I just did, the kettlebell. But for some reason, it just never sticks with me, So, I try and get at least 7,000 steps a day at work, and I walk around. I told you I'm an armed guard, so I have to do foot patrols and whatnot, so I do that, and I sneak away for a couple of seconds every 45 minutes, and I do 10 bodyweight squats, and they say that's, I guess, good for your metabolism, and if you have a sedentary job, which my job isn't really sedentary, but I do sit, so I do that. And my legs have been always good to me, pretty strong. Back when we used to do martial arts, all the guys would kick me in the legs, and I didn't even feel it, It was funny. They used to get so frustrated. But, back then I was already trained and working as a massage therapist too. Well, that was towards the end of studying martial arts, but it was still a lot on my feet and working in a horse stance, just to do massage. So my legs have always been good. My knees have been good. So I don't really have too many complaints. But the beginning of this year, for 3 months, my back was in and out. And again, the exercise thing, it's I should be doing exercises to strengthen it, but such a resistance, such a block. I just need to try and overcome that more. If you guys have any tips, let me know. I'll just drop my remote, excuse me. Back. So, yeah, big resistance to exercise. And it's funny because I always wanted to be in better shape. I had these spurts in my life where I'd work out. And I did the martial arts. And after that, it really has been very inconsistent. And I studied a little Qigong for a little while. For those of you who don't know what Qigong is, it's the form of exercise that predated Tai Chi. It kind of looks like Tai Chi, but it's not as much, different stances and stuff like that. Oh boy, I forgot to shut my notifications off. on. No. Is that better? Yeah, we're still going. Sorry about that. There's no way I'm editing that out because I don't know how to edit. It just makes me a little nervous. So yeah, I just been having a rough day. Kind of emotional. I'm reading this book on trauma, and that always kind of surfaces stuff, feelings, I guess you would say. So I have to take that book in small doses. I just finished one of the chapters, and I'm gonna put it away because it's just a lot. Yeah, and I'm feeling a little, I guess, stretched out or stretched thin lately. As aside from doing these YouTube videos, I got a couple other things going on too, so it's been a little more divided attention, you could say. So, but I'm trying to stay focused. That's a big part of it, you know. Doing a little bit every day. Trying to, most of the time I'm in a good frame of mind, you know. I'm, I guess, motivated, you know, to stay on top of things, and that's how I try and live my life, you know. So don't worry about me if you watch this video. I'm fine. It's just one of those days, you know. So anyway, we're at 18 minutes. Well, we're at 17 minutes. And, you know, I don't want to make it too long. It's enough of nothing. But I guess my basic message here is, you know, stay up. Everyone's going to have a bad day. It's okay. Do something that makes you feel better. Maybe take a walk. Lift. Do some exercise. Read a different type of book. Read something that makes you feel better. Listen to something that makes you feel better. There's all kinds of motivational stuff out there nowadays. And, you know, even maybe have a treat. Eat something that makes you feel better, you know. That's all right, you know, once in a while. But, yeah, man, that's about it. I didn't come here to dump stuff on you, but just wanted to share a little bit of the past, some of those experiences that stick with us, and sometimes talking them out, getting rid of that, you know, pressure helps. So I hope to see you guys next week. I hope we get some views on this video and it helps somebody out. Maybe you realize you're not the only one. So you guys take care, and keep doing your intuitive eating. Stay focused. Give yourself some breathing space, some room to grow, and I'll see you guys next week. All right? You take care and be well. Thanks, guys.